Why Jay Dilla? Because every time I hear Jay Dilla beat, it hits me right in my heart. Like, it hits me right in my soul. Like, you feel that shit every time.
Oh yeah, welcome back everybody to the Blackfire Technical Analysis YouTube channel. I am your host, Crypto Bro. It is Tuesday, it is rainy, it is disgusting outside, everybody hates it. And the market just keeps surprising us. It definitely keeps surprising us. We definitely have some interesting price action to cover today. More specifically to the point, cryptocurrency. We definitely have a couple of things to establish in that market. We got some requests coming through today. I made a quick post on the community forum on Facebook, just letting everybody know that I'm only taking requests via the live feed tonight in the channel. I do apologize, but I'm on vacation, and I do want to let everybody know that I am expecting a couple of interruptions, but that will not shut down the stream. A phone call and some visitors that I am expecting today. So you might see a couple of people enter the room during the stream. Ignore them. The main important thing that we need to be focused on here, obviously, are charts, right? So, nothing outside of that. No announcements. Nothing new going on right now. Just, keeping pace with the market. Kind of baffled me on cryptocurrencies last night, or today too, what was really going on. So we'll definitely cover that, but obviously first and foremost, we're going to hit up some NASDAQ, get a general feel of what the hell's going on in the stock market. NASDAQ, boom, we got confirmation right here. Breakout point confirmed as new tentative support. As a result, I am officially now looking for the 2.272 Fibonacci extension target, somewhere around $17,300. Again, if we do see price action ebb and flow up into that region here, I'm going to be looking for some sell pressure. Again, you kind of have to plan for sell pressure anytime price action reaches those Fibonacci extension targets. Again, doesn't mean it has to play that way. It doesn't mean it can't just blow right through them. But obviously, when you're playing with new all-time highs, you never know. You never know. This market has been very, 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 very overextended for quite some time, obviously. And looking at new Fibonacci extension targets coming up as a possibility here, you better bet your bottom dollar that I'm setting up take profit targets at that region. You never know. You never know. Price action can come up to this region, reject, start a bear market, or we could never reach that region to begin with. We are still technically below the all-time high. We are kind of seeing price action. Oh shit, wrong color. We are kind of seeing price action reside in that. A little bit of a liquid zone. That's what I'm classifying this region as, a little bit of a liquid zone here. We do have confirmation on the breakout point here, but what's more important in my opinion is if we achieve new all-time highs. If we can achieve new all-time highs, we see new all-time highs yet again. No reason for me not to think the 2.272 won't be the next tentative target for this price action here. Not only that, but we come down to look at the stochastics. We do see, boom, trying to enter the the bullish critical zone here above the 80 read. Very powerful. This is momentum here. This is real momentum right here. This is exciting stuff from the bullish perspective, in my opinion. RSI, still, kind of like right, but we are kind of just seeing a little bit of support on the new tentative breakout point, and I would imagine with any continuation up, we likely see RSI extend as well. Nonetheless, we do have a little bit of a formation here formulating, a couple of touch points to consider that valid. RSI bounces back above the exponential, forces it to a positive slope. Very, 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 very juicy stuff here. As of now, as of late, the only thing that's going to convince me otherwise would be not only a break below the current breakout point, the current support at 16,430, but in confluence, a break below the 21 exponential would be that contributing factor that tells me at the bare minimum that we remain in a larger consolidation phase. Right? This is this formation here, in my perspective, is just a big sideways range right now. Obviously, the pressure looks to be to the upside, and I could be proven very, very, very wrong very, very, very quickly with any closure above the all-time high. But nonetheless, patience is a virtue. We got confirmation above the 21 exponential, on the 22nd, boom. Positive slope on the 21, looking for new highs, I think, on the 21. Yeah, new highs confirmed on the 21. I'm just looking for extension. I'm just looking for this market to continue being as bullish as ever. It's crazy. It's crazy how bullish this market is. Never really seeing any. I haven't really seen any bear market. To be quite honest with you, I've seen prior bear markets, you guys, but I have never actually seen a legit bear market. I wouldn't even say I would consider this a bear market. This was not prolonged downside price action. This was rather quick when the coronavirus crash happened, and then boom, right back to bullish. And from a macro perspective here, yeah, this could have easily flipped to a bearish perspective, but it didn't. It fucking didn't. So, bullish until death, I guess, for NASDAQ and all the stocks that are attached to NASDAQ, bullish till death or something like that. Same thing with SPY futures here. Oh, give me 1 second. There's my interruption. Oh, no, that's not the interruption I was looking for. Okay, back to it. SPY futures, new all-time highs. Very close to that 1 spot 272 Fibonacci extension target here. Confirmation was had here on the 26th, day after Christmas here, and then we just get a little bit of a doji style candlestick. Now again, please remember, doji style candlesticks are indicative of indecision in the market, and they are reversal style candles. Again, direction of reversal is not implied. It just means, hey, there's a little bit of an indecision going on right now. Does this one continue, or does this one reverse back to the downside? Now, both perspectives, in my opinion, from this standpoint, are good, right? A little bit of a pullback, maybe to the breakout point, test it fully, maybe even test at 21, confirm yet another higher low, and then continue towards the 1 spot 272, or we could just see this, meet the 1 spot 272 on a wicking basis. Nevertheless, the 1 spot 272 is my primary target. Somewhere around 48.30 is kind of going to be where I'm looking for price action to reach. We'll go ahead and mark that off with a little bit of a line right now. Boop. Yeah, that's kind of the target. Now, some would argue, close enough is close enough. We were only what, $26, $25, $26 off of meeting that target, but I'd rather see a little bit of a closer wick before I consider this a target being met. So, as far as this one's concerned, the same disposition applies. Unless I see a break of the 21 exponential here, I am not looking for, a decrease in momentum. Stochastics in the bullish critical zone, very juicy, bouncing off the bottom side of the bullish control zone, and RSI here, back above the exponential one. Once again, exponential has a positive slope, and we are confirming new highs at the same time. I am bullish on all accounts, short term, medium term, and long term for the general stock market here. Very, very, very delicious stuff. Change of behavior point is the current low at 45.70. Any candle closure below there, then my perspective changes, my perspective flips. But as long as we're above that point here and seeing continuation, I remain bullish on this asset. What is the dollar doing here? Nothing. Same disposition here, still below the 21, putting pressure on it, yeah, but still in the context of this consolidation phase right here, and the same 2 points that I've been preaching, I don't know, for a while. When did this consolidation start? Man, freaking a month ago. It's been a month. It's been a few days, over a month, that we've been in this consolidation period here, so the same disposition applies. Hey, Chris, unfortunately, man, that's not going to change my language. That's not going to change my demeanor. If you have your children watching my live stream, unfortunately, if they hear anything they're not supposed to, it is your own damn fault. Back to it. Same points. Same points, guys. Same points. Closures above, 96.70 here. I'm looking for extension to like 97 spots 70 here. A whole dollar move. But again, we need a couple of things to kind of fire off for me to be convinced of that right now. And the first thing is closures above the 21. Momentum oscillators curling back to the upside. They look really weak with stochastics back into the bearish control zone. Not good in my opinion. Pressure is implied to the downside. RSI, same thing. We do see a little bit of a rounding bottom here, but it means jack shit to me unless we see price action move to the upside, right? Exponential is in a negative fashion. We are coming on new lows from an RSI perspective. Yes, the macro trend is still intact. And again, coming back to the macro trend here for this one, just because I have, a little bit of a bias or a little bit of an opinionated factor towards the downside does not mean I am bearish at all whatsoever on this asset. It would not be out of the question to see price action fall all the way to 94.50 here. Test this yellow diagonal trend line of peace and prosperity, confirm some other kind of higher low, and continue onwards and upwards from there. Maybe even like 95, right? Maybe even like, line it up a little bit, right? If we come down right here, it's kind of something like 94 spot 77. A couple days from there, it could be like 95. Somewhere along that region, anywhere above current support at 94 spot 54 would be enough for me to look for a higher low to confirm in this structure and price action to continue onwards and upwards. We do have, again, this peace and prosperity, this trend line of peace and prosperity going to the upside here. Plenty of touch points here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Could go for 5. Could go for 5 as we are in a bullish uptrend right now, and that factor will not change, in my opinion, unless we take out macro lows. And the last macro low that we have to be in consideration here of is 93 spot 35 that was confirmed on the 28th of October. And until we flip that to new tentative resistance here, bullish is my game for the US dollar index. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I am... Okay. Just kind of waiting. I got my mom and my sisters coming over today, so. All right, that's kind of going to do it. The condition for that. The condition for me to look for those, a little bit, of lower price action here towards $94 would be an open and closure below 95 spot 88. Again, a breakthrough is not enough. I'm looking for a break followed by a retest or a secondary candle closure below before looking for that target to the downside around 94 spot 50. But that does not mess with the overall trend, the macro trend as a whole. Still good. I'm still very bullish on the US dollar index here. Moving on, I know my boy wants me to check this one out. Hall of Fame Village. I cannot express the clarity of this chart here. If you guys want an example of how a bearish trend works, look at the freaking Hall of Fame. This one is absolutely disgusting. I am very convinced here that the next target is going to be $1.46. Now, what happens from there, out of the question, can't tell you. We could bounce off $1.46 and tentatively set up a reversal point from there, or we can break down below $1.46 and see continuation to the downside near $1.23 to $1.25. Now we look at stochastics and we say, hey, you want to see something bad. You want to see something that is absolutely anything but bullish. I'm talking about the most bearish shit you've ever seen in your life. There it is. Stochastics getting rejected at the bottom side of the bearish control zone in the bearish critical zone here. Exponential back to a negative slope. We do have a little bit of an uptrend line here, but again, doesn't mean anything unless we see, momentum, actual momentum build up from this trend line. We could break it. We could break it right here, rejecting the bearish the bearish control zone, the bottom side of that, confirming a lower high on stochastics. Never a good sign, in my opinion. RSI back into the bearish control zone once again. Now, we could see, just like before, we've seen it a couple times, a couple of stabs, and we see RSI and price action escape. RSI divvies into the bearish control zone, escapes. Into the bearish control zone, escapes. So that does suggest from the past that we could see a little bit of a bouncy bounce somewhere around $1.46. But again, if we break down below $1.46, I think momentum takes over. I think RSI goes deeper into the the bearish control zone. And we inevitably see continuation to that $1.25 mark here. The only thing that's going to convince me otherwise, again, as you guys already know, would be a full-blown reversal back above the yellow 21 exponential. And until that condition is met in confluence with higher highs, there's no bullish, no bulls. Bear Jesus has reclaimed his big girthy red candles in your face with the Hall of Fame. Not looking good. Now, from an investment perspective, again, I happen to believe in this asset. I happen to know what's going on in this asset only because I freaking live here. They're not even done building it yet. They're still building it. I'm pretty sure I heard some news about them, confirming a casino for the Hall of Fame Village as well, which is pretty big. So they're looking to add a bunch of different stuff to this project. They're building the project. You can't expect a stock that's not generating revenue to generate revenue and see price action increases, significant price action increases for the long term. So patience is the game for this one, at least from my perspective. I am being patient. I am eyeballing that $1.46 target, and if it does break down below there, I'll also be eyeballing above 25. And until proven otherwise, I'm looking to the downside for the Hall of Fame. What's next? Bitcoin. We're going to do Bitcoin, and then we are going to, we got some requests. We got 6 of them today. We got 6 requests on the live stream here. I am also going to do a couple of my blue chip stocks after the requests, but that's kind of going to put the final piece of the pie on the stream. Here's something I want you guys to know, right? I was looking at this move, and even when I bought the 21 here, I had to delete all the work that I did and reconstruct the chart here for a different perspective. But even looking at the confirmation above the 21 here, I was still skeptical. I was still like, does it continue or question mark? Well, today we got a question mark, ladies and gentlemen. And in my opinion, not a good question mark indeed. Not a good question mark for crypto right now. Upon closure in 24 minutes, we will have a structural lower high in confluence with the previous structural lower high. Boom. Boom. We will have downtrend continuation confirmation, in my opinion. And with a closure like this below the 21, I will be looking forcefully for price action to drop down to 45,360 first and foremost. Now, any closure below there, that's when I start getting a little bit concerned here for the macro trend as a whole, as I am going to be looking for continuation to the current macro change of behavior point. I'm going to have to put a pause on the button real quick. Give me 1 minute. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I told you there'd be a little bit of an interruption today. Had some company coming over, but we shall continue forward talking about Bitcoin once again, looking at the trend as a whole. Again, anything can happen in 21 minutes. That's bullshit. I fully believe that we see closures below the 21 exponential tonight, and with that condition being met, lower highs will be confirmed. Downtrend continuation will be confirmed, in my opinion. Again, I will be looking for continuation of 45,300 and likely lower. Again, we are looking at a potential structural macro higher low in the context of price action right now, but if that is taken out, then the trend overall is being threatened, in my opinion. Any closures below 41,000, and that's kind of where I'm like, all right, maybe cryptocurrencies are kind of getting ready to enter a bear market, right? That's where things get really exciting. That's when I get excited for shorts and all that different type of stuff. With all the cryptocurrency requests that I'm seeing tonight, it's very, very, very likely that because of Bitcoin, we are going to see similar price action on these other cryptocurrencies here. Now, the only thing that's going to convince me otherwise would be a stop and reversal right here and continuation back above the 21 exponential with a closure above $51,000. With that condition being met, if that condition is met, I will look for extension to the next major level at 58,270. But it's, to be quite honest with you, it's not really looking like that. Stochastics, again, this is kind of what I wanted to tell you guys. Stochastics, it looks momentous, right? It looks like there's a lot of momentum behind price action, but then you come to price action only to discover that, kind of a little bit of a pity bounce, right? The momentum on stochastics doesn't really match the actual momentum on price action here. We saw price action get met with the ceiling resistance upon confirmation above the 21 and couldn't hold up. So looking at that and looking at RSI right here, kind of the same thing. Yeah, while we are on new highs here, we could classify this as another structural lower high. Looking like the exponential will be forced to a negative slope as well. And not looking too hot for cryptocurrencies today. Although I did have a position and I did take a little bit of a loss. I don't take that as a loss, right? I took my edge. You never know what's going to happen. So take your edge, manage your risk. And if you take a loss and it's only 2%, who cares? Who gives a shit, right? Who cares? That's kind of my perspective. Is we got the break. We got the break above the 21. We got the secondary candle closure above the 21. Hey, take it, because you never know what's going to happen, right? You take the edge, and sometimes your edge doesn't work out, and this is a clear example of where the 21 exponential moving average strategy tends to not work out here. We do see the slope of the 21 just kind of right. It's not the greatest slope to the upside, so that kind of tells you that this move is a little weak, right? It has weakness. It does not look like the bulls have control right now. So as far as Bitcoin is concerned, still waiting for that candle closure, but I am confident with that candle closure well below the 21. Continuation to the next horizontal support is the most likely outcome, in my opinion. That's kind of where we're going to leave that. We do have some requests on the live stream to knock out today. The first one's going to be Mana. Probably the same thing, brother. Mana, M-A-N-A, USD. What the fuck? Binance. Is that even the right chart? There we go. Yeah, Mana, kind of following Bitcoin. I would look at this as a structural lower high yet again, just like Bitcoin here. We're gonna pull up our drawing tools and kind of show you what's going on. You got your one right here, right? All-time highs, boom, lower high. All that tells me is that downtrend's likely to be in continuation phase right now. Obviously, a top being called out, a break of the 21 exponential, and a break of tentative support here. Same disposition as Bitcoin. If we see closures below there today, I will be looking for follow through all the way down to $3.04, maybe $3.04.5. And if we take that region out, it's likely because Bitcoin is going for new lows as well, and I would be looking for continuation to basically that last chance region for this price action, right around $2.47. Again, unless Bitcoin decides to reverse all the way back up above the 21 exponential, I'm going to be calling continuation for most of these assets tonight, including Mana, DOT, USD. I think I've looked at this one in quite some time. Yep, same shit. Same thing, man. Forceful closure below the 21 exponential, inevitable here. We are holding support, so that is something, right? But again, if Bitcoin sees continuation to those lows here, I would imagine that .USD also breaks through the $27 support here and starts aiming its way towards like that $23.77 region. Again, unless proven otherwise, unless Bitcoin reverts back above the 21 exponential, if I see closures below that 21 and continuation, it's very, very, very likely that the remainder of the cryptocurrency market follows suit. RSI rejecting the 50 read, never a good sign. Stochastics coming up. Again, look at how much force in the stochastics there is in comparison to price action. You're getting a lot of force on stochastics, but not a lot of force on price action, which tells you momentum is weak. It's fake. It's not real momentum, right? So, again, I could be wrong. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice, but at the end of the day, I take the evidence that the charts present to me and I make decisions based off of that. And the decisions that I'm going to be making today are very, very, very clear and evident for me. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. VeChain. Probably the same shit, man. USD. Yep, same thing. Rejecting the 50 read. Coming back down towards the exponential. False momentum on stochastics. closure below the 21. Yeah, if we see closures below the 21, I am going to be looking for a pullback all the way into like the 7.5 cent region here. Again, most of these cryptocurrencies are going to line up fairly well with what Bitcoin is doing today. And you know, if Bitcoin doesn't look too hot, it's very likely that the rest of these cryptocurrencies aren't. And again, unless we revert back above the 21 exponential, we do not have targets to the upside. Albeit, we could say, for argument's sake, you know, any closure back above the 21, I would start looking for 11 cents once again. But this is obvious. This is an obvious rejection here. This is an obvious lower high being formulated here. Not looking too good. It looks like bear market season might be here for the cryptocurrency market. What's next? Cardano. No, that is not the one I want. I do not want perp. ADA, UST, Binance, please. Yeah. This one actually still above the 21 here, so you know there is an argument to be had that hey, maybe this one's not going, but I mean this one's obviously already been bearish for quite some time here. Not seeing any true momentum or signs of reversal to the upside. We're gonna go ahead and get some new lines put on here. See what the hell's going on. Clear resistance point right there. I don't think I need to enter too many in here because yeah, clearly defined targets. You know, top call very likely here for Cardano here. Argument is that it still closes above the 21. You guys got to remember, Bitcoin controls the cryptocurrency market, and if Bitcoin continues to the downside, which is very likely in my opinion, that this one likely, you know, breaks below the 21 coming on the next candle closure here. If we do see a closure below $1.36, again, same disposition as before. I will look for continuation to the next low at about $1.20 here, and to the opposite here. I will need to see $1.52 taken out before I start looking for the next level, which is around $1.74. But again, Bitcoin kind of controlling the market, Bitcoin kind of doing its own thing, and at the end of the day, end result is, you know, Bitcoin fails, altcoins get shreked, and they're probably going to lose more. What's going to be the next one here? Litecoin. I haven't done that one in holy crap. It's been a minute since I've seen Litecoin. Let's go ahead and check it out. This one's just bad. This one's just bad. Yeah, clear lower high, confirmed. I'm going to be looking for new lows on Litecoin here. Litecoin is absolutely disgusting. Let's look for some touch points here. Yep, there's a good one. Boom. Yeah, I'm going to be looking for like 131, 131 spot 40 here, unless proven otherwise. And, you know, kind of that proof otherwise would be, at this current moment in time, closures back above the 21 with continuation to new highs. Same thing, guys. If Bitcoin's going to the downside, it's likely the rest of the altcoin market does the same. This one looking real bad though. Lower high on RSI back below the exponential, forcing it to a negative slope. Stochastics rejecting the bullish control zone. Not looking good for Litecoin. Litecoin looks like ass, to be quite frank with you. Definitely looking for that $131 target. Link probably looking like ass too. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, a lot of these, you know, I don't mean to sound tedious, you guys, but a lot of these are going to be the same. It's going to be the same analysis for these ones, just because, again, Bitcoin controls the cryptocurrency market. If Bitcoin is failing, it is very, very, very likely that the rest of the altcoin market will follow suit. Let's get some levels in here just in case, though. Again, plan for everything and expect nothing. While I am more biased to the downside, that doesn't mean I don't have plans for the opposite side here. Litecoin confirming yet. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, confirming a lower high. I would classify that as a lower high. Breaking below the 21 exponential. Again, we see closures in cryptocurrency in 10 or 11 minutes here. That would be in confluence with a fresh break of supports. I would be looking again for lows to be tested somewhere around 17 spot 52. Any candle closure below that region though flags out change of behavior, and then the targets to the downside become vast, with the next one being like $13.70. RSI, I think we already covered RSI. Yeah, RSI rejecting the 50 read. Back below the exponential, not good. Stochastic, again, I want to make it very clear to everybody why stochastics is so important for declassifying what is a real momentous move and what isn't. You see this force on stochastics, but you don't see force on price action. That kind of tells you, hey, this is just bullshit. This move is just BS, and it likely gets sold into. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. So that's kind of going to do it, man. It's the same disposition for all these cryptocurrencies, and just kind of watch Bitcoin, see what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin pops back up, it's likely the rest of the market does as well, but Bitcoin's not looking too hot right now, so I'm looking a little bit to the downside here. All right, guys, I got 4 more to take a look at here today, and then we're going to call it a stream. We're going to start with Apple. Hidden resistance, nothing too much, nothing too concerning here. I'm still bullish as hell. Stochastics bouncing off the bottom side of the bullish control zone with momentum back to the upside. I do like that, and this is a show of real momentum. We can see the movement off of this momentum here. RSI though looking a little concerning. We did just see a break back above the exponential and the bullish control zone, but it is looking like a little bit of a pullback could be expected. If we are to pull back, the first target I'm going to be looking for is like 174 to the downside. But at the end of the day, the main disposition still remains. If we do see new all-time highs close above 181, I'll look for the 1.272 Fibonacci extension target right around 192.50, give or take a few cents, maybe a few bucks. Again, with Fibonacci's, it doesn't have to be a perfect, right? From a Fibonacci perspective, if I'm taking profits on the 1.272, I'm actually going to go 1% below that, and that's where I'm going to set up my take profit zone, because there's no guarantee that it's going to perfectly hit the 1.272. That's, trading, again, trading is a art, not a science. And to the downside for Apple, again, the only thing that would convince me of real downside momentum at this current moment in time would be open and closures below about 167.85. And until that condition is met, I'm looking for the north. Again, a little bit of a pullback wouldn't be out of the question. But the general stock market as a whole looks pretty delicious right now. I am curious as to if we confirm change of behaviors in the cryptocurrency market, if that's going to be like our first early warning signal that the stock market is getting ready to follow. It could be just me making shit up. I don't know. But it's very, very, very fun and interesting to pay attention to. So, with the cryptocurrency market coming to the downside, I'm paying extra close attention to the stock market as well, and seeing kind of how they correlate and collecting that data. So that's kind of going to do it for Apple. Microsoft, same thing. New all-time highs would be above this point here. 345.38, any candle closure above that region. Again, looking for the 1.272 Fibonacci extension, somewhere around $360. 362.70, give or take a few bucks here, would be a tentative target to the upside, and to the downside, same thing. It wouldn't be out of the question to see a little bit of a pull into the 21 right now, but the 21 has a lot of force. Momentum oscillators are showing a lot of force, bouncing off of the bearish control zone back above the 50 read. Again, that is a critical signal for continuation, in my opinion. And then RSI continuing back above the exponential here, forcing it to a positive slope. A little bit negative right now, but again, we're not seeing real momentum and we're not seeing real sell-off pressure right now, so I still think the momentum is to the upside. That doesn't change either. If we do see closures below the 21 here, again, we are just like NASDAQ in a huge range right now, bouncing between two horizontal support and resistance points. And if we reject this region here, close below the 21, I'd have no reason not to think that $322 isn't the next target to the downside. Now, closing below 322. Very indicative of a change of behavior, and that's when things really start getting interesting, but we're not going to talk about that as well and far away. AMD, same thing. A lot of this analysis today is kind of the same shit, you guys. Popping back up, getting hit with that resistance. Typically on the first pass, when you see price action booming to the upside, it hasn't been near specific resistance in quite some time. Typically on the first pass, you're going to see that resistance act as resistance, right? This isn't a full-blown rejection like Bitcoin did, right? With Bitcoin's chart, where is it? I gotta pull it back up because I like to show you guys these examples. With Bitcoin's chart, this is clear rejection. Clear rejection. We put a lot of pressure on that resistance, and then said, nope, just kidding, not even close. This is a clean rejection of that resistance. But with AMD here, a little bit of red is not, it's not a death sentence here, right? It's not a death sentence. Clear rejection would have been, rejecting this point, closing below the 21, confirming a top. then we could be talking a different story. But for now, I'm still very bullish, just like NASDAQ, just like the rest of the tech market here. I'm very bullish for potential new all-time highs until proven otherwise. And the only proof otherwise at this current point in time would be open and closures below the 21 here. Stochastics, again, carrying actual momentum back into the bullish control zone. I do like that. I think we already talked about RSI, confirming new highs and reversing the exponential back to a positive slope. Very, very, very good. All things considered, things are looking better for continuation, in my opinion. Nvidia, probably the same thing. No, actually, seeing a little bit of sell-off. Do we have a resistance? We do. Ooh, fun. Go ahead and mark that bad boy off. What the fuck? All right, we hit clear resistance here. Again, first pass on a resistance after not being there for a couple days, about a week. It's likely to sell off. This one is the one that's a little more concerning, right? When I look at the 21 exponential here, I want to see more of a positive slope, right? So a lot of pressure is being applied to the 21 in my opinion, and if we do close below the 21, then I'm going to be looking for the range to continue playing out with pullbacks all the way to 272 spot 50 to be the first target, and anything below that, man, look at all that space. There isn't really any significant price action between 272 and 227, so that's a big decrease. Again, if we are to see confirmation of that below that point, until then we're kind of ranging. We did hit resistance. If we close above resistance here at 311, we'll just call it 312. I will look for continuation to the next resistance at 334 spot 33, and then we have the one spot 272 at 371 if we do confirm new all-time highs. Stochastics here bouncing off the bearish control zone, back above the bearish control zone into neutral territory. Right, I do like that. Again, just because stochastics is up doesn't mean you can't see a little bit of a red day here, but what's really concerning here is RSI. We are back above the exponential, but the slope is very, very, very weak to the upside. So if we are to confirm a high here, that would likely mean the continuation to the bottom side of the range is the most likely outcome. And that's kind of going to do it for the NASDAQ, or no, not NASDAQ, NVIDIA stock. And that's going to do it for the stream, guys. I got company. I'm going to get the fuck out of here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tick that little bell. Thanks for being here. And until next time, which is tomorrow, the same